Hi again, guys. This video is going to be part 2 of designing your own key fob, and Laura asked about maybe creating something like a flower. So I'm going to show you one of the ways that you can do this. And to start with, I'm actually going to go onto the internet and I'm going to search for a flower that I can use. So here we go. I'm searching for a flower. I'm going to click on images. I'm in Google, and then I'm going to come here to search tools. And the first thing is I want the largest size flower I can get, because that will give me the best quality image. And the type of flower, I want a clip art. I don't want a photograph or a line drawing. I'd like, in this case, a clip art. And then here you'll see an option of user rights, and I want one that I can reuse and modify without getting into trouble over copyrights and things with it. So label for reuse with modification, and you'll see other choices here. Label for non-commercial reuse, so I can modify it, I can use it, but I can't then go ahead and sell what I make because I'd be breaking license. So I'm going to come up here to this one, labeled for reuse with modification. That restricts me and to my options, and I'm just going to pick this one here, which is a basic flower, and I'm going to just go and check what the license is with this. And if I come down here, the permission, so the copyright holder releases this into the public domain. That means yes, I can use it. It's a worldwide, so anywhere you live, and I grant anyone the right to use this work for any purpose without any conditions, unless conditions are required by law. So I know I can use this image here without breaking any of the copyright rules or laws. So I'm not going to download it here. I prefer to right mouse click and do a save image as, and I'm going to put it into my embroidery file, into my graphics folder, and I'm going to call it a flower, and I'm going to save that and close down my Google. So now I have that image on my computer, but I need to change it into a BMP file so I can open it with the Draw package. I'm only saying that because I looked at that flower before, so I know what it is. I'm going to open up one of my graphic programs. You can do this in Paint. I just prefer this particular program on my computer. So I want to come to my embroidery graphics and find one that's called a flower. There it is. And the first thing I want to do is merge it together so I get the complete flower. As I say, you can do this in Microsoft Paint or any of the graphic packages that you have. And now I'm going to save it, but this time I'm going to save it as a BMP file rather than PNG that it was. So I'm going to close that and come out of my graphic program and come back into my Futura. Now I can create a new file. I can go to my drawing package. I can open an existing image, which is what I want to do, and there I have my BMP of the flower, and I've got, it's only 2 inches. It's a 300 DPI, which is good as far as the quality. DPI standing for dots per inch, and I wouldn't use anything less than a 300 DPI personally, but again, that's your choice. So I'm going to say OK to that, and here we have that flower opened up in our drawing package. I'm going to view at 100%, and so there we have on screen the image which I want to convert into key fob. Now to do that, I know I'm going to have to, let me come a bit smaller. I'm going to have to put a tab on the top. Now, obviously there's not enough room because this image is the size of the moment. So what I do is I get hold of this middle handle at the top and drag that up to enlarge the size of the canvas that I'm working on. Now I need to go to my line, and this is the same process that we did before. The only difference is this color, or the color that I want the tab, I want it to be part of this top petal, so I need to select this color. So I come up here to my color dropper and I right and mouse left click on the petal, and you can see it's changed my fill and line options to this color. So I come back to the line, and really doesn't matter what size line at this stage, and I need to come in a little bit closer. I need to have my line start right in the middle, or as close as I can get to that petal there. I'm going to hold my left mouse key down. I'm also going to hold my control key so I get a perfectly straight line. And we know from before that I need, if you look above the screen, to 250 up in this box here. Sorry, I've got a puppy climbing all over me. Mind, Dixie, come over there, go play. Okay, so there we have the tab that should be about 2.5 inches long. Now I'm going to come to my box. I'm going to come to my filled box. I'm still the color that I need to be. And if you remember from part 1, I need to make the width of this in total 50. And to get it even, what I do is drag out 25 in the size on each side. So I come to the bottom here and click my mouse key down, and this way I want to make that 25. So here we go. Not easy with a puppy on your lap. 26 to 50. That's close enough. 24, 25, 26. We're talking such a tiny area here. Really doesn't matter. Then I'm going to come to this side and do the same. 25 to 50. Not easy with a puppy. Don't do that. So it's jumping from 24 to 26. So I'm going to go 26. Say it really doesn't make that much difference at this stage. Now I can come to the top handle again. Oh no, I can't. I want to make that round at the top. So let's zoom into 200. Come up to the top. So I now need to make this round on top. I can use the filled pie slice or arch or whatever. I'm going to do the circle, and again we're talking such small areas here, it really doesn't make too much difference. I'm going to come to about here. I'm going to hold my control key down so I get the perfect circle and release. And so that was a pretty good guess on my part, but I've got a little bit of overhang on these two sides here. So I'm just going to come up to my pen tool, small, make it white, and I'm just going to remove those, although it's like we're picking at straws here. And if I come back to view it, puppy, good girl Dixie. Now I need to come to the middle handle at the top, drag it down just so we come back to the size. We don't want to stitch a large blank area or even have that included in the dimensions, so we're just going to trim it close, if you like, on here. So hope you're with me so far. Save changes to, turn that sound of images, and I'm going to call it a flower, and I'm going to save it. And here we are back into our Futura screen. I now need to convert that in Autopunch. Next, that's the image I want. Next, we've already cropped it down pretty good to the size that we need. Had I not moved that middle handle down in the Draw package, I would have a large white area and I would have had to drag the cropping down. So that's just a same way of achieving the same end result. Now this one, when I come into size in inches, it's 2 by 2.7. I want the height, we know, to be about 5.5, and it's automatically adjusted the width to 412 on here. So next. The only one I want here is to turn the background off, and I can just finish at that stage. I'm not worried about the stitch order of the blocks because it's not going to be a block, it's going to be converted to that outline like bean stitch. So there we go. I'm going to view at 100% and I'm going to view realistic view. So there we have the stitched version of this. Puppy. Okay. Now what do I need to do? I need to convert this into the bean stitch. So I'm going to come to select my outline edit and go into my embroidery settings, stitch type. Hopefully you're following all this through from the first one. I don't want the first hold down, I don't want overlocks, and I know I want the stitches to be about 80, so I can apply that, and I need to do the same for all the petals. So 80 on the stitch length and apply that. Applique 80, no first or second up down, oops, and apply that. And this bottom one, it's joined them both together, that's fine, it doesn't make any difference, rather than treating them as separate petals. That's actually a good thing, one less thing for me to do. So I can apply that, and there we have the outline. Excuse me a minute, puppy, go chew on that. Okay, so now I have the middle to do, and there comes a point in the Futura program where some of the items are too small to applique. I'm okay with the center circle, I can apply that, but now when let me zoom in a little bit. When I come to this area on the yellow and try to turn that into an applique, the option is gone from my list. I don't have an applique option because this area is too small to place fabric down on, so it's removed it as an option. So all I can do is either delete it or I can change its pattern. So I'm going to come to a step pattern and apply that, and I think that's actually quite pretty, so I'm going to leave it at that. I can close and come out of there, and sorry, my puppy is really making it difficult for me at the moment. Come to 100%. So there we have our fob, and again you can put letters around the petals. Let's say do I need to go on with this while this puppy's being a pain? Yeah, I'll give it a go. So first of all we'll have an L in block large. Let's make the size 8. That's a bit too large, so I'm going to come to 6 and I'm going to stitch that, turn off my text select the L if I can, just the L, and I'm going to bring that up here, and I want to rotate it. And I'm going to apply that. Then I'm coming to my text again. This time I want an O, and it's already held in the previous choices, so I can just stitch that. Okay, it's joined those two together, so I'm going to undo that O and go back to my what I'm going to do, it's good when things like this happen because it helps to show you what I do. I'm just going to pick a different color. I'm just going to go for the L and stitch that, and because I've made it a different color, I can keep it separate from everything else on the screen. So there's my L. Excuse me again, puppy, go play. Now I'm going to come to my text again and try and do this quickly before the puppy gets back, and I'm going to change the color again. That way I know the O will be independent. Oops, sorry, I didn't stitch it, that was my fault. So O, stitch it, come out of the text option and spin it around, stitch it. Now again, I'm going to R, change the color again, okay, and stitch it, and come to my, turn my text off, come to my R, this time I need to rotate it this way. I just want to lift it up a little bit, and then last letter is the I. Change the color again, color I haven't used yet, and stitch it, turn my text off, select it, and it's a bit small on the screen, so I'm going to zoom in so I can get hold of that. There, and stitch it. Let's come back to 100% on the viewing there. I'm going to change my screen color. So there we have a flower tab with the snap part on the top, flower with the name Laurie on it, and at this point you would save your design. So that's how to take an image from the internet that you're allowed to use, pull it into your draw package, add the tab to it, and that's really what this is about. It doesn't matter what the image is, you just still need to add that tab, which is about 50 by 250 in the points, or ½ inch by 2½ inches, and play around with it. This could be a pumpkin, it could be a horse's head, it could be watering can. Really, you're not restricted. Just whatever you pull in, add the tab to the top. Hope you enjoyed this one. And now I've finished, the dog's gone to play somewhere else, typical. So I'll talk to you soon. Let me know how you get on with it. Bye.